Yo, what up, bros? A lot of you guys have been asking my 3.20 League starter guide, and today I have that for you. I've broken it down, I've sectioned it out, I've made it nice, crisp, easy, and clean to follow, and I've got some clips to show you exactly how it works. So let's take a look at how it went in the story. As you can see, we spent a lot of time in the story leveling with Shattering Steel. I made it to level 62 yesterday on my playtest, as you can see on the screen. I got through the entire story in 6 hours. Well, I cleared my first map in 6 hours in 1 minute. It took a little bit of time because we started with Splitting Steel and we transitioned to Shattering Steel. I didn't have anybody who could mule me Shattering Steel. I'm playing as though you won't have that as well. So when you're following this guide and you're looking at the things I'm doing, I'm going to give you a couple of disclaimers. One, Marauders don't get the steel skills, so leveling with them is a little bit of a pain. Two, you have to mule Splitting Steel. Three, this is my plan for League starters. Do not copy. If you don't, it might break. I'm warning. This might break. Don't, bro, please. You copy it and it doesn't work. Ask me questions. Don't yell at me. And four, until you can either get somebody to mule you Splitting Steel or get to 28 and clear the library, it's a little bit on the slower side. Splitting Steel does fine. The only issue or hiccup I had was in Act 2, fighting the Val Oversoul. But otherwise, it works pretty good. It goes pretty well. The whole leveling process was super smooth and easy. And let me walk you through all of the things in POB and all of the things that got me to where I am now. Before we get into it, I would like and ask if you could take a minute, slam that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, as everything you do helps the algorithm and gets this to more people who are looking for a League starter, and I would really appreciate it. So if you can, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. It will mean the world to me, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you've got a really cool build and you want to share something, leave a comment down below, because I too am looking for new and wonderful ideas to both help share to the community and prep to give to my friends to start for 3.20. But this is my POB. As you can see on the screen, we have everything laid out for you. In the leveling section under the tree, I have different trees. I have a level 20 tree of where to go. I have you a level 40 tree, a level 50 tree, a level 67 tree, a level 80 tree when you convert to specifically using a sword, because we'll be using swords in this, and I have you an early General's Cry tree. Now, I'm going to walk you through step by step a lot of the things that are going on here. We are starting Marauder. We are starting Marauder because we are going Berserker. Berserker is what we are going to play for General's Cry. And we have a couple of things that we're going to note about our starting tree. When we come down to the Marauder starting area, the Fizz nodes aren't going to do us any good as we're playing Splitting Steel and the Shattering Steel. We want to take the small little nodes here for extra life and extra armor. We get to go up this way for more max life, more damage, and just more regeneration. Regeneration's pretty good. Might as well take it. While coming down off over here, we're going to be taking these nodes up here. This two-hand cluster wheel gives us just general damage, which will help boost us throughout the story. Now, throughout the story, we're going to be using a two-handed weapon. We're going to be using any high axe or any high fizz DPS sword that we can come across. Eventually, we're going to fully transition over to swords, but I kept the tree very general for leveling, and I made it so that you can pick up any weapon that's either a sword or an axe, has really good Fizz DPS or crafted Fizz DPS, and be able to go through the story without having a lot of issues. Now you'll notice as you start leveling and progress, as you get to the level 40 tree, you'll see that when we go from a Master of Arena, we're coming straight down to Destroyer and into Golem's Blood, and on the right side, we're going to Fury Bolts. Fury Bolts is really good for Splitting Steel skills, and it helps us get a lot of damage, gives us a lot of projectile speed, and it's just really good for what we're trying to do. The story is going to give us a lot of respec points, and we're going to come across a lot of regret orbs, a lot of scour orbs, a lot of currencies. This isn't ruthless, and currency is very plentiful. So we're going to be doing a little bit of respecking later on in the tree to fully transition to General's Cry and over to swords, but that's okay. In the meantime, we need something to do some sort of damage. So this is the way that I did it, and I did it all on stream yesterday, and it worked beautiful. Now, I'm going to disclaimer you again. This is the way that I did it. This is the way that I plan on doing it. This might not work for you. This might not be the best thing for you. I chose the steel skills because Spectral Helix got nerfed, and I don't know if it's going to be good enough to play in the campaign. Now, it could be really good. It could be really bad. I do not know. So take all of this at face value and proceed with caution. It does work. I have tested it. I do enjoy it. I like it a lot. And you can actually head over to my Discord, and there's going to be a link on the screen, or my Twitch channel, which will be another link on the screen in a second. You guys can come ask me a bunch of questions about your experience, as I will be doing this live on stream on League Start, and be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Now, once we've gotten through the level 40 and we've gotten to level 50, we're going to start taking a couple of extra nodes. You'll notice we're going to take the axe wheel down here. We're specifically going to take this two-hand mastery because it gives us a lot of damage against bosses, and this will be a huge source of our damage, and we want to make sure that we have that. We're also going to be taking the chance to impale, as the steel seals already impale, and we add more chance to impale. We're going to need resistances going through the story, so cloth and chain is pretty good. Same thing with armor evasion, and when we come up here to the armor and elemental mastery nodes, these will give us all extra resist and more maximum elemental resist. When I went through the story, I did it as solo self-found. I found a lot of gear on the ground. It was really easy to cap out my resistances. I had a crafting bench. I had some gear with a little basic understanding of, hey, this has an open suffix. I can put on a resistance on here. Getting through the story and having your resistances capped throughout the entire thing won't be very hard and won't be very difficult. Now, we're going to take these precision nodes here. Now, you can put on precision, and you can tie precision to arrogance support, and you won't need to take these. I took these alongside precision, and it worked out really, really, really well. Also, you're going to know by the time we get to 50, we're going to have enough, well, 55-ish. We'll have enough for 2 points. The first thing, I'm going to actually update this. The first thing that we're going to take is Aspect of the Carnage for a Lab Ascendancy. 40% more damage on top of 40% more damage on top of more damage on top of 30% more damage on top of impale. Means we are literally deleting bosses in the story. We are deleting rare packs, and none of those will be a problem. The second thing that we're going to take will be Warbringer, and Warbringer will tie in really nicely when we get to the next tree. As we continue to progress in level, we're going to be taking Call to Arms. Call to Arms is going to make our war cries instant. We're going to be using Enduring Cry until we swap over to General's Cry. Enduring Cry is going to use endurance charges. It's going to be full our health. It's going to be like an oh no kind of help click kind of button. We're going to put it on left click. Having the war cry there is also going to give us 20% more damage here. It's going to give us more damage and rage here. We get to tie it with Berserker, and it works out really, really, really well. You'll notice that the tree at 50 doesn't have that yet. I found that it wasn't very good, or I didn't enjoy it and take it until my second lab was done. Now you can take Call to Arms earlier if you'd like, and Call to Arms will be really good with Enduring Cry. If you have the sockets for it, I recommend you do it as soon as you can. You can get Enduring Cry as early as level 1. But this is when I noticed Enduring Cry plus Berserk gave me that like little extra oomph to push through the story. The 67 tree, well, like I said, will give you the Warcry nodes, more damage from Warcries. We'll start to capitalize on championing the cause and mana reserve and efficiency, because eventually we're going to be changing our auras altogether. Eventually we're going to be fitting in Determination as a defensive aura, and we kind of want to start prepping for that. You're also going to notice on the left side of the tree, we're going to be taking Cannibalistic Right. We're going to be tying all of our skills to Life Tap, so this gives us just flat more damage, reduces the cost of life. The cost of life attached to Life Tap for the skills that we're using is very minimal. You won't even notice that you're doing it. We're going to be taking Juggernaut for more armor and more life. We're going to be taking Barbarism for more fire resist, more max life and max fire resist. And we're going to come all the way up here to Vanquisher for just 40% raw physical damage. We're going to crush enemies on full life. This is just a good node for the story, for leveling, and it's just going to give us 40% more physical damage for skills that cost life. The moral of the story, take large chunks of damage, put them on scale, hit mob, mob goes boom. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, pretty to the point. Now the tree is completely laid out for you. You have a level 20 tree, a level 40 tree, a level 50 tree, a level 67 tree, a level 70, a level 80 tree. Now when you start getting to the level 80 tree, you're going to start noticing that we're going to start slowly dropping some of the nodes. We've cleaned up our nodes over here on the right. We've started taking some more sword nodes. At this point, we want to start transitioning into swords. We want to not have a lot of respec points. We don't want to spend a lot of our time respecing all of our gear. We don't want to spend a lot of time respecting all of our tree. We want to try to make this transition from Shattering Steel to General's Cry as seamless and easy as possible. So we're just going to start investing into the major sword nodes that would be taking along the way anyways. You can pick up a sword off the ground at this point. You've probably found plenty, or a unique sword that you can work with. I know this is going to be League start, so maybe unique swords aren't the best option or best offer, but it won't be very hard to take a sword, take a rustic sash, make the rustic sash rare, put some whetstones on the sword, sell the sword, the rustic sash, and a whetstone to the vendor, and create a weapon with physical damage, craft on anything else that you're missing, and then kind of like just start killing things. When I went through the story and I got to level 65 with a very, very, very basic weapon that I found throughout the story, I picked up a 250 DPS axe, 250 DPS two-handed axe. My damage throughout the story with Shattering Steel was roughly 41,000. So with the level 32,000 with the level 67 tree. So even 20,000 at level 50. I was cruising. I think I picked this axe up in like Act 5 or 6. I don't remember. I picked it up pretty early, and I just kind of like used it the whole way. So it worked out really well. Once you have the REDBLADE banner shield, you can convert to General's Cry. This will be the basics of the tree. I took a lot of inspiration from the tree from looking at POE.ninja. I found a guy that I thought was really good. I liked this tree a lot, and I kind of imported it over and moved it over. So I'll have a link to his profile down below where I found the tree and where I want to kind of transition to. The leveling aspect is all my own design, and that's why I said proceed with caution. I do know this leveling tree, or this General's Cry tree, works, as I compared his tree to multiple other trees, and this is the one that I like the best, and I think it's really good. Pretty basic, it's pretty straightforward. You just grab, a large cluster with Iron Breaker, Furious Assault, Master of the Fundamentals. You grab some mediums with Lead by Example and Haunting Shout. Another one, Provocateur, Warning Call. And this is a very basic, to get started, make the swap over General's Cry tree. Now, I do not recommend going General's Cry until you have the red banner shield. I have a item list that you can look at for the transition, but I would not, at any means, recommend swapping over. I do know on day one from previous leagues, the red banner shield, or REDBLADE banner shield, is very expensive. By the end of week 1, it is pretty cheap. So you can league start as Shattering Steel, farm up some currency, and if you can't afford it on day 1, 2, or 3, by day 4 or 5, you should have enough currency and be able to make a swap over. Now me, I plan on going General's Cry right off the bat. I'm working with a bunch of people that are going to be awesome and amazing, and then we're going to be pooling resources together, and I hope to have the shield hopefully day 1 or 2, day 3 the latest. Now, as I mentioned, you can come over to the Twitch stream. You can watch the Twitch stream there. You can see me working on this and all the steps that we're going to be taking. But I do have laid out for you, if you're not going to be able to watch the stream, what my gear looked like while I was leveling, what I picked up throughout the axe. We're going to take this off. So just make sure make sure you set up the passive tree here to like match. Basic flask, basic, belt, rings. This is all stuff that I picked up off the ground. When I leveled, I did it as solo self-found with a brand new account. So I had nothing. It worked out really well. Then you could swap the tree to General's Cry when you're ready to make the swap over. As far as mapping goes, the first map that I did was really smooth and really simple. I don't have a full endgame variant fleshed out for this yet, as I haven't figured out the endgame yet. I don't know what the endgame is going to look like. There will be updates to this guide down the road that will have all the endgame stuff. And I'll be talking about my experience going through the store, or going through maps, going through the Atlas, how I'm going to be farming, what kind of farming strategy I'm going to do, what kind of bosses I did, what my plan is. My overall plan with General's Cry is to be a bosser. I don't plan on doing a lot of mappings with my first character. I'd like to get the bosses as fast as possible. I like to buy all of your fragment sets, so if you have them all and it's league start and you're looking to sell them, head on over to my Twitch stream. We will be buying them. I will have a trader who's available. A good friend of mine, Pennsylvania, will be buying everything from you so that we can start bossing as soon as possible. So if you want to make some currency, I got you on league start. Now, as far as skills go, I set up the skill tree for you too, so that you get Splitting Steel, chance to bleed with Onslaught, Leap Slam, War Banner. And then I have the level 28 tree where I pick up Vulnerability, where I pick up Leap Slam, Faster Attacks. I put it on Life Tap, Shattering Steel, Maim, Life Tap. I can actually update this to Vicious Projectiles. This is actually just way better. yeah, vicious projectiles is just way better. And then, you know, Herald of Purity, Warbanner, and Pride will be huge sources of damage if you can get it and you can fit it. Oh my god, what is it called? I can't think of what it's called. Oh no, I'm having a brain fart. Hold on. Remember now, it's Blood Rage. It took me a minute. I'm sorry. How embarrassing. If you can get it, I would fit in Blood Rage as well. You're going to keep Blood Rage a low level. The dex requirement's going to be really rough. Eventually, I get to level 38. I swap over my Shattering Steel. I put on Brutality. Brutality is a huge source of damage. And I leveled the entire story just like the Shattering Steel, Brutality, Life Tap, Vicious Projectiles. I eventually got an Ancestral Protector. I linked it with Name. I got Enduring Cry and Berserk. And then I just kind of cruised. Vulnerability is fantastic. You drop your totem, you cast Vulnerability, you cast your Enduring Cry, you hit the mob, you berserk if you need to. Precision with Arrogance, like I mentioned, this way you have the ability to hit and you never have to worry about your hit chance. And then as I got closer and closer to 65, I just continued on with the same stride, as you can see. And then eventually, you know, I did the leveling in the early story, and you have everything that you're going to need to get the axe in the story. Now, I did it in 6 hours. I know there's a lot of people that are watching, or a lot of people that say, well, I can do it faster. It took me a little bit of time. I was perfecting the strategy. I'm not the fastest story player. You might go faster, you might go slower, but I want to say that this experience was super easy. The experience was super smooth. I really enjoyed my playthrough with it. I'm going to be finishing up this video now, and I'm going to be hopping on stream, and I'm going to be testing it out in maps, and I'm going to be hopefully finding the shield, knock on wood, and I don't have to transfer over to Trade League. But there will be an update as soon as this character is at General's Cry. There will be an update with how it's going. You'll be able to see bosses, hopefully, with it. And knock on wood, the League start goes really well. If you made it to this far in the video, enjoyed yourself, please slam that like button and subscribe button. It would really, honestly mean the world to me. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. I'd love to chat with you guys and figure out if there's something I can be doing better or some questions that you have that might lead to different changes in the tree. And a big shout out to my Twitch chat and helping me figure out. Also, my friend New Kid, who at some point was like, "You're an idiot. Take these nodes. These nodes are really good." And I was like, "Dude, you're a genius." Like, that was awesome. Yeah, man, you guys are great. But for now, I'm going to go finish this up. I'm going to go get ready to stream. I'm going to go do my leveling and practice a bit, and then I'll see you guys there. So long. Farewell. Bye.